Welcome back to Dubai if you've been with us all day, and welcome along if you haven't. There are 2 remaining quarter-finals on the centre court in the Dubai Duty-Free Tennis Championships. It's a premier event, $2 million in total, the purse, and it's Caroline Wozniacki, the former world #1 of Denmark, taking on Marion Bartoli of France, the former Wimbledon finalist, of course. Chris Brandon alongside former British champion Annabel Croft for this first one, and Marion Bartoli hasn't played Annabel since Monday.
Yeah, that is extraordinary, isn't it? Benefiting from Serena Williams' withdrawal late last night, and everybody's so excited to see that match, and of course hasn't played a single match, and here she is into the quarterfinals. That's not a great position to be in, because as we know, it takes players a little bit of time to get used to the conditions here, and Wozniacki, quite the opposite, played 2 matches and looked sensational in both of them.
Yes, Caroline has played Tuesday and Wednesday, so very used to the feel of the ball on strings. Bartoli pretty heavily strapped. Most of them are these days, it seems, with this Kinesi taping. Kvitova has got it everywhere. Arms, legs, thighs. But what a fighter Marion Bartoli is. I mean, always, every time she steps on a tennis court, she leaves nothing out there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think she's a lot of fun. She's a real character, and she's stand-alone, isn't she, in terms of how she plays her tennis out there. You know, double-handed on both sides, reminiscent of a Monica Seles, and yet, just as you said, gives it her all. Great match player, fights for every single point, takes the ball early, just does things differently out there, and create angles. I find her absolutely fascinating, the way she can carve up opponents sometimes. But she'll have her work cut out tonight against Wozniacki. Seems to be coming back into some sort of form.
And the tennis bags, they need their own chairs these days, don't they? They're that big.
Yeah.
You've got the kitchen sink in there as well, I think.
I'd love to know how many actual rackets are in there, because I reckon they only travel with about 6 or 8, and then the rest of it is towels and all sorts of things that they might need.
Eva Razdaraki for the spin of the coin. So Bartoli has won the spin of the coin and has chosen to receive. So Annabel with the draw, and she'll tell you a little bit more about both these 2 players.
Well, there you can see at the top of the draw, Irani and Vinci, great mates, doubles partners, and know each other so well. They've been sitting at breakfast every single day, and they say they're going to do the same again tomorrow, but they're going to meet in the semi-finals. And down here at the bottom half of the draw, Wozniacki and Bartoli about to start their match, just getting their warm-up underway, and they'll await Kvitova and Radwanska. Well, here's the weather conditions then. 21 degrees Celsius, still a little bit gusty. It's blowing a little bit out here on centre court. But in the yellow tonight, a former champion here. Of course, she won these championships in 2011 as the number 16th seed, beating Kuznetsova in the final. Sorry, as the top seed, beating the number 16th seed. But she's 22 years of age, residing in Monte Carlo, currently ranked at number 10 in the world. Finished year-end #1 in consecutive years, 2010 and 2011. Had a win at Seoul last year, which was her first title in 13 months since winning in New Haven back in 2011. So she's definitely had a little bit of a dip-off in form. She's struggled a little bit, had some surprising losses, but towards the back end of last year really started to get her tennis firing again. Ended up winning in Moscow as well, beating Sam Stosur in the final. She was also, remember, a semi-finalist in Miami in March last year, and had a first win over Serena Williams. A terrific win that was. Well, that was her route through then, beating Safarova in the opening round in straight sets, and then backing that up for a loss of just 1 game against Zheng Jie. So here's who she's up against then, a former Wimbledon finalist from 2007. Everybody remembers that win when she shot Justine Henin, the favourite in the semi-finals. Came from a set and 5-3 down to come back and win 6-1 in the final set before losing to Venus Williams. 28 years of age now, resides in Geneva in Switzerland, currently ranked at 11. held the ninth spot in the world for 39 weeks. But the highest world ranking was number 7. Making her 8th main draw appearance here in Dubai, but it's her first appearance in the quarterfinals, though, as we said, hasn't actually had to play a match to get there. On through qualifying in her debut, reached the second round there, lost to Mishkina. And her best showing before this year, of course, was reaching the third round in 2009 and 2011. So far this year, reached the third round in the Australian Open, and best result was the quarterfinals in Shenzhen and Paris indoors.
They've got quite a history of playing each other, Annabelle.
They really have. Caroline Wozniacki has led their head-to-head by 5 wins to 2. The 2 wins for Bartoli coming on the clay in Stuttgart and then on the hard courts in Cincinnati. That was back in 2010. Their last meeting was at Indian Wells over a year ago, 2011. 6-3 in the final set, that one.
The delightful Eva Azaraki of Greece in the chair. Caroline Wozniacki still coached by her father, Piotr, there, who was delighted as a former pro footballer himself to meet Diego Maradona in the Royal Box last night, as was Caroline Wozniacki, a picture soon tweeted around the world.
Yeah, I saw that picture. It was a really fun picture, wasn't it? Sort of one of shock on the face of Maradona. One where you'd want to put a speech bubble over the top and sort of put something up there.
Nicola Perrot, Bartoli's fitness trainer. She's parted company with her father, Dr. Walter Bartoli, which I asked her about on the court when she'd won her first match against Klara Zakopalova, and she said it's just a change. She just decided she wanted a bit more independence, and she still loves him very much, and who knows, maybe throughout the course of this year they may very well get back together again. But she misses him courtside, but for now is happy just getting on with it.
I think it's a good move, because he's been travelling the tour for quite some time now, and he's always been a permanent fixture there. A little bit like when Hingis didn't have her mum there for a while, did she? And went back to her. And in fact, even Caroline Wozniacki herself tried out to a couple of coaches in the last year or so, but has resorted to going back to her dad. In fact, interestingly enough, you know, she was asked in the press conference yesterday, why is it that every time you're winning a match, you get your dad on, no matter what the score? She only lost 1 game in the last match, but still gets her dad out onto court for advice. And she said, well, I'm working on certain things, and sometimes it's just good for him to remind me what I'm actually trying to do in matches, and you might need that kind of advice later on in the tournament.
Now they're a huge supporter of tennis in the region. Abdul Rahman Falak Naz, Vice President of Tennis Emirates, loves his tennis, and the region loves his support of it. And what a success story Dubai Duty Free is. New hotel, new facilities this year for all the players, everything on site. It is just magnificent how this tournament has grown, and it's very much a family run tournament. Everybody feels so welcome. And let's just hope those stands fill up a little more. We've got a former Wimbledon finalist, a former US finalist, a world #1, and Diego Maradona in the house again. Loves his tennis, loves sport. I mean, he's just passionate about sport and competing.
Well, he clearly just loved his time here yesterday, and he's come back for a bit more, but he was so popular, wasn't he? Caused quite a stir coming down onto the court.
So it's an all-Italian semi-final in the top half of the draw. Irani against Vinci, doubles partners, of course, owners of 3 majors. And in the bottom half, first of the 2 remaining quarterfinals. Bartoli, who won the spin of the coin, chose to receive against Wozniacki, who begins.
And look where Bartoli is standing to receive not only that first serve, he stepped even further into this baseline for the second one, trying to intimidate already.
And does.
Returns don't come much better than that, do they?
Especially off the first point.
That's a very clear message. So fit, Caroline Wozniacki, isn't she? Looks so trim, works so hard off court.
She looks fitter than she's ever looked.
I think so. I think, from what I understand, even her boyfriend Rory McIlroy has always said he's just so impressed with the amount of work she has to do compared to a golfer. Well, I think it's inspired him to sort of do some kind of fitness training.
Wow. Well, maybe that first return has put the frighteners on that second serve.
I think no question about it, because she's making her presence felt out here already, and this is what Bartoli does. Look, she's really well inside that baseline. That's the sort of positioning that Venus Williams and Serena actually stand to receive serve.
That's just her second double fault of the tournament, Wozniacki. Just the one against Safarova, none against Jung Jae, the qualifier, second round.
Well, this second serve had better be good. Yep, that one right off the line. Desperately trying to find a mark. Really sort of hurls herself into her ground strokes, doesn't she? You can see there how the ball just takes off, and as soon as it hit that line, it shot off to the right.
Perfect. And it's so important to get Bartoli on the run, but when she gets the first great return in, it's difficult.
Look how she just throws her body weight behind every single ground stroke. Both feet off the ground every time she hits the ball.
Amazing. Perfect start for Bartoli. An immediate break. You must be overwhelmed by her presence on the court, with all the jumping up and down between points, as you say, the standing in on the return.
Well, she's just such a character. She's just fun to watch. There's always something going on, isn't there? And I'm always intrigued by her service motion. We've been intrigued by it ever since she burst onto the scene at Wimbledon and had that terrific run through to the finals. But, you know, there were so many weird parts to it. It's not a smooth service action. And do you remember she used to go up on her tiptoes before serving? She sort of cut that out now and change it. But it is the most extraordinary service motion.
She served 5 doubles in each of the first 2 sets against Zakopalova, none in the third. It got better as the match went on. But it will be an interesting watch. Well, that just sums Bartoli up, any which way.
I have never seen that before. That was a one-handed, single, left-handed volley, which she managed to control. And then, I'm not even sure how much she could see of that ball, but she somehow managed to get that back into play. But like you say, that sums her up. always shadow swinging after every single point, isn't she? She sort of goes down the other end and starts swinging away. She plays about 5 times as many shots as she's actually playing in the match, doesn't she?
This is what I'm going to do next time.
Yeah, she really burns up a lot of energy every time she walks on the court.
Close. No challenge. Yeah, unofficially it was long. Too good. And the fist says, maybe I'm going to be a lot more aggressive from here on in.
Well, she definitely needs to try to be aggressive and take charge, because as we've seen, otherwise it's going to be her doing all the chasing and the running, because Bartoli takes that ball so early and really pinpoints it into the corners, doesn't she? So somehow she needs to keep her on the back foot.
Break a piece, a game a piece, first set. Yeah, it's interesting with Wozniacki, there's so much talk about the forehand, isn't there? The big points, it gets so spinny that it goes so short, but the backhand is magnificent. And the backhand cross-court in particular, and that could be a big shot in this matchup tonight to get Bartoli on the run.
Yeah, I think you're spot on. I think, the forehand she's worked so hard on, but naturally, just the way she produces it, she does just tend to come up the back of the ball, and if it gets tight and the scoreline gets closer, then she sort of rolls it even more and gets a little bit tight on it. But backhand is sensational. Very solid. It's a real weapon.
Quite breezy, as you can see from the hair. Nothing like the other night, though, a couple of nights ago. Well, that's the one. Even though that wasn't that wide, immediately Barty didn't look as comfortable.
Quite a high work rate going on out here already in this match. She doesn't look like someone who hasn't had a match yet, does she, in this tournament?
It's been quite a wait. Second in the day session on Monday on this court. Barty played Zakopalova.
Oh, it was just perfect. This is why she's so difficult to play, because she intersperses this sort of power play with these double-handed swings off both sides. You can see here Wozniacki not balanced, going backwards, and all of a sudden that little change up there.
I'd love to see Wozniacki hit her backhand harder and be more aggressive more often. I mean, you just can't see her missing it. It's technically simply perfect.
Yeah, it is. I've stood on the court while she's been practicing next door, and it's quite something watching her hit the ball in practice. I think she probably hits it a lot harder off the forehand side in practice, but my goodness, she hits the ball well.
So important to vary the serve, the spin, the speed against a returner that's looking to knock the cover off the ball.
No answer to that, is there? That's where you pay the price for trying to take the ball early. This is what we're seeing so much of in women's tennis these days. You can see here she doesn't want to lose her position on the baseline, so she resorts to half volleying that, bending the knees to control it. That's what we've seen from Radwanska. And yet, if you don't get a good strike on it, you give the initiative to the opponent.
Great length, so important, forcing Bartoli back. Always notice with Wozniacki as well off the forehand side, she seems to get a better length when she goes down the line. She'll be very pleased with that one. Cross court.
Oh, she's getting great length, isn't she? A couple of these balls right inside that baseline, pressuring Bartoli.
Played. We talked quite a bit about Bartoli's serve with Wozniacki. Wozniacki now has a much wider stance when she serves. I mean, Thomas Johansson, when he was with her for a short period, introduced it and she stayed with it. As that right leg just goes back, it's quite a wide stance.
Oh, I think that's missed. Yeah, I thought that missed.
With you.
Trusting Ava's judgment on it.
This is unofficial for our benefit. It was the right call. And I think Wozniacki got it absolutely spot on the margin too. Second break point of the game.
A change up there, going down the line with the forehand. Tended to go back cross court more often than not. Well, there's evidence she's not as confident off that forehand side. I mean, it looks like she could hit those backhands cross-court all day long, never miss.
Third chance for Bartoli to get the third break in a row on serve. And it is 3 breaks at the start of this quarter-final. Sprinting back to the first sit-down. Bartoli, 2-1, first set. you remember when she first came on the scene? Annabelle, one of her first big matches was against Lindsay Davenport, and I think she was either #1 in the world or very close to it. It's the first time she'd ever played her, and she stood about 1.5 meters, like Sellers, who inspired her as a youngster, to return Lindsay's serve.
I don't actually remember that match, if I'm honest. The one that I really remember was when she basically took apart and dismantled Enan's game on centre court at Wimbledon. But I just remember all the sort of idiosyncrasies, is that the right word, of what she does out there on the court. And she used to go up onto her tippy toes before coming back down again and then serving. And then all this sort of joggling about on the court, on the spot, in between points, the shadow swings, the weird service motion. And, she's such a character, but she's sort of very much loved by everyone because she's so different, isn't she?
So 16 minutes for the 3 games. First sit down, so many pouring into the stadium now, thankfully. So there could be a little pause for them to sit down. And neither woman has held serve yet in the match. Bartoli 2-1.
Second person.
Well, the more you see these sorts of points, if it becomes a very long match, the more you've got to favour Wozniacki.
I think on past record as well, out of the 7 meetings, she's come through on 5 of them. So you'd have to think that something about the way they match up suits Wozniacki. Having said that, I guess I've got to point out the fact that the last meeting was back in 2011, and a lot's happened to Wozniacki since that time, hasn't it?
Yeah.
In terms of confidence as well.
Oh, took advantage of the let cord. That's tough on Bartoli.
I also think good to see a player point like that, though. Wozniacki needs to do that and introduce it more and more into a game, and I think she knows that. She's very aware that for her to keep up with the game and try to stay inside that top 10, she's going to have to add a little bit of something extra, because she doesn't have the power and the weaponry from the back of the court to beat some of the big hitters.
Beautiful. Pleased with that one.
She's a good volleyer, isn't she? You wouldn't think so with the double-handers on both sides here. But when she takes that other hand off, actually has a lot of control and always effectively using the drop volleys. And if you looked at the court positioning there for Wozniacki, quite a long way behind the baseline. Bartoli very aware of it.
She lost her first 2 service games in her opening match on Monday. And the double faults, remember, 10 in the first 2 sets. More break points. It'll be interesting as this match develops as well, how many forehands Wozniacki has to hit compared to the backhand. Because overwhelmingly Bartoli's got to go to the Dane's forehand. And go big into the backhand.
Oh, furious with herself there, going backwards on that forehand.
Double in the game. Yeah, no wonder the closed eyes, because it's a horrible feeling. You lose rhythm on a serve, it can be a devil to get it back. She did, as we've been saying in that first match on Monday, but it took such a long time. But you know she'll fight to get it back. But it unsettles. And it's 4 breaks at the start of this quarter-final. That's the one. More left hand, more angle. If it's in.
It looked like it clipped the line, didn't it? She really sort of leant into that backhand. Oh my goodness, that must be the most minuscule we've seen of the week.
Wow, 1 millimetre we're being told.
That looked like half a millimetre to me.
Good call it was.
Yeah, got her off balance, didn't she? You'd think it would be easier to get her off balance than it actually is.
Yeah.
Matching shoes.
First hold, and it's to love. Wozniacki, after her traditional 5 games, wanting a word with her father and coach. 3-2 first set.
Karolina, tak, grasz bardzo dobrze, tylko jedna rzecz. Jak idzie do forehandu i ona ucieka z backhandu, widzisz sama, ona z backhandu jest gorsza jak dobiega, to musisz przechodzić przez piłkę, Karol. Nie możesz łamać ręki, bo jesteś za daleko. Ty jesteś 3 metry, łamiesz rękę i wtedy przechodź, pamiętaj, główka rakiety do dołu, to co ćwiczymy, przechodzisz. Teraz druga rzecz. Wszystkie płaskie piłki, które idą i ona gra fest i nie masz czasu, też grasz płasko i ustawia się i tak jak idzie. Ale jak masz czas, to tak jak grasz właśnie, metr nad siatką, pół metra nad siatką, ustawiasz się, grasz heavy spin, ona ma problem wtedy. I wtedy te piłki idą krótsze, wtedy możesz podejść, zobaczyć co i jak, ok? Czyli pamiętaj, nie próbuj grać do góry, jak jest szybko i wiesz, i nie masz ten, tylko ustawiasz się i grasz. Wszystko co ona ci gra tu i grasz i cross, jak ona ci gra po linii, widzisz jak ona biegnie i ma problem, ok? A tak nie mówię.
So sprinted back to the chair for the first sit down, Bartoli. Not quite as quick going back a second time with the 2 double faults in the last service game. Twice a break up, we're back on serve. Bartoli 2-3, first set. Nice.
Well played. Again, brave play. Repositions herself. That's not an easy shot. Little bit of a pick up there. Doesn't look particularly confident up there, and yet is willing to continue to do so.
Made it awkward, kept it low. More break points. Central, fraction short, punished.
Just amazing natural timing, isn't it, from the back of the court? I mean, here you can see she really stays low on these shots, and the only way I can describe it is hurling herself into the ball, using all that body weight behind it. It's not a smooth service action, is it?
Just looks uncomfortable at the start with the left foot position. Another break gifted. It's 4-2 Wozniacki first set.
Gracias.
pull from the chair. Looking for the mark. Asking which one it was. And now challenging.
It looked out to me from our position up here, and we're quite high, aren't we?
Wow. Second double.
Well, easy to do that under the lights, isn't it? Just lose sight of it, just a fraction out on the swing, and the ball could just come straight off the top of the racket. Well, the way she produces her ground strokes is so different to Wozniacki's, isn't it? So much harder and flatter, and see how much she gets that ball to go through the court.
Get more break points. Only had one service game held so far. Great length.
Now, when you're up against Bartoli as a server, you've got to be ready, haven't you, right at the back of the court for that first ball, and she's doing a good job getting her preparation right, footwork, and you can see here trying to reposition, but again, she's still not up on that baseline, is she? She's playing the match a little bit behind it. That's because of the force that comes through the court at you from Bartoli. An example of it right there, just really flails at the return of serve and pushed on the defensive almost from the word go, because her serve, well, that was a body serve, but she's not able to really get that ball away from Bartoli with a lot of power. Bartoli has a lot of time, doesn't she, on that return of serve?
Yeah, she really does. And the 6 breaks out of the 7 games. Wozniacki 4-3 first set. There's a bit of a quandary though still, the serve, just to try to get the rhythm back on it.
Well, they're so different. I mean, you wouldn't really teach Bartoli's serve. You can see here, she gets that racket arm back back so quickly. It's in one very quick motion, and then she brings the back foot up. Whereas Wozniacki, much more sort of traditional service motion. And Wozniacki getting a lot more height as she goes up after the ball.
She's rehearsing what she's going to try and do. Get that turn in on the start of the serving action, perhaps. She's just a thinker, isn't she? She loves chess. She probably misses those games against her father on the WTA travels.
I wonder who wins.
Yes. Now another Prezi from Rory. Beautiful shot of the new hotel at Jumeirah Creekside. Just adjacent to the facilities, now part of them, of course, for all the players. 5-minute stroll from your bedroom and you're here. New balls in play. New spectators taking their seats. Bartoli 3-4 first set. On the line. Skidded through. Almost on the verge of having another talk about the white lines, Annabelle. Always skids on the white lines because they get skiddy.
Well, we've seen quite a bit of that during this match already, haven't we? The minute it touches the line, and I think Wozniacki's touched quite a few actually, it just takes off.
Have you decided on a colour yet? If you were going to paint them a different colour to white?
Well, I'd definitely go for pink. Maybe fluorescent pink.
When it's not a shared event, it could be the colour of the WTA, couldn't they? The purple.
Quite like that idea.
Now Stato, Ivan, Bartoli, just 5 points on serve she's gained so far.
I don't know what happened on that one.
As if she hasn't done enough running already. 38 minutes. Almost doing double knee jumps there.
She does. She really does use up so much energy in between points. Wozniacki not happy about something. Had a word with Eva Asdaraki there.
Remember, still hasn't held serve yet, Bartoli. Another chance for Wozniacki. 3 from 6 converted so far.
That's just fantastic hitting. Just amazing the accuracy she possesses. Every ball belted into the corners.
Well played. Didn't quite hit the final shot as cleanly as she would have liked, but she got the job done.
Well, really targeting that forehand of Wozniacki once again, isn't she? And then waiting for the right ball just to pull her out of position once again. And she's almost given up too quickly on that point, hasn't she? I think she expected a better shot as a passing shot from Bartoli there.
Fabulous from the pair of them.
Well, she still looked a little bit awkward up there, but I'm really impressed that she keeps putting herself up there in that position, but managed to get the ball out in front there. Closed the racket face on that last one, didn't she? She didn't really knife it into the corners. That looked a little bit flat the way she hit that first volley. She certainly likes the fist pump, doesn't she, Bartoli? She does it a lot, but she also makes sure that her opponent can see her doing it, just to kind of irritate them and get under their skin.
She was showing it to Caroline's father then as well. Just adjacent along the baseline, this thing. Take on them, both of you. Long game.
The thing is, when you talk to her off the court, she is the sweetest girl. She has the softest voice. She's so pleasant and charming and really lovely. Ruthless determination on the court. Well, it's a risk, isn't it, if she goes to the backhand of Wozniacki, because she's got more chance of being pushed on the run and into a defensive position. But more often than not, she's gone to the forehand side, where a lot of players, they're going to target there because there's not a lot to be feared on that forehand side. They're not going to be rushed on their strokes.
Yeah, much better. soften the point to the forehand.
Because she doesn't generate a lot of power off that side, and she doesn't really flatten it out, does she? So you know you're just going to get a rolled shot. You've got more time to play it.
And there's very little change of pace off the Wozniacki forehand. The backhand, yes, there is, especially when she opens up on the cross-court one. But the forehand is pretty samey. For a point. Longest rally, longest game. Bartoli holds serve for the first time. It's 4-all first set.
Well, that was exhausting watching that point. What an amazing point that was. And Wozniacki doing all the running, being pulled side to side, back and forth. Great defensive skills from her, but just not enough. 24 shots that last rally. Really puffing a bit after that one.
She only had enough puff to hit this smash. Just. She hardly ever seems out of breath herself, Wozniacki. So fit, as Annabelle was saying at the start of this match. Quite extraordinary. You think how long her matches are in terms of each point, because she doesn't hit many clean winners like that. Amazing. Yeah, pretty even Stevens, really. Balls on one side, so many of them do.
It's confusing, isn't it? Because every player's different. Some of them like it on the right-hand side as they turn and then get the balls from that same side. Wozniacki obviously wanting them the other side. And again, look where Bartoli's standing.
Wonderful defence again.
It's just so unconventional the way she plays some of these shots. I mean, this one, single-handed forehand for a change, but just enough loft on it. Wozniacki not expecting that one on the back line.
Pretty quick between that point. Bartoli still breathing very, very heavily. That's what I should have done, not what I did. Is the message to herself. It's such a positive message for dealing with the error.
Oh, standing in even closer, isn't she? That.
It's like a windmill point, wasn't it? There was so many arms and long swings and...
Well, it was set about by that return of serve. It set off the motion from there. Took charge at this point. It was all arms and legs. Oh, that's just brilliant. I mean, it's such a big part of her game, isn't it, this return of serve? I mean, that definitely is something to be feared. And Wozniacki just not able, is she, to get that ball away from the opponent so that she's actually having to move steps to be able to return it and be off balance.
It was 116 Ks as well. Return was quicker. Another break point. Just moved a fraction early, Bartoli. Space appeared.
But it definitely feels like she's in charge out here, doesn't it? She's gaining more and more in terms of being able to dictate the points in the back and pushing Wozniacki behind the baseline. And she's very aware of where Wozniacki's playing this match. That's why she keeps on throwing in the little short ones, bringing her forward. Gosh, they're having to work hard out here. It was a high work rate right from the start, wasn't it?
With Maradona watching, we're already into the second half of the football match. Well, I think that's the return that's prompted that, isn't it?
Oh, I think absolutely, you know, no question about it. And you can see she's just trying to put more on it and maybe get a little bit more angle to try to get her off balance, but ended up outfoxing herself there. And I think, yeah, you're right. Earned it.
Bartoli goes a break up for the third time in this opening set. She'll serve for it at 5-4.
Well, the crowd really enjoying that last game. That was absolutely amazing, wasn't it? And again, just targeting that forehand of Wozniacki, as everyone always does. They know they're going to have plenty of time. They're not going to be stressed out there. Just biding the time. A lot of patience out there, but waiting for the right one to really pull the trigger on. And my goodness, that one rifled its way down into that corner. You can see here Wozniacki having to take on some extra sustenance. It doesn't surprise me. This is almost an hour, and the set's not even done yet.
And she is breathing heavily sitting there, isn't she, for once?
Yeah, well, it's been a really physical first set, and she's had to cover a lot of ground out here.
Strengthen those legs.
There you can see where her positioning is right now behind that baseline. It's a long way back. That's up by the Dubai sign, which is quite far back, isn't it? And you know that when she's in her practice sessions, everything they're saying to her is try to get up on that baseline. But it's not easy against someone who's just absolutely thumping the ball.
Now, we said keep an eye on Bartoli. Where's she hitting mainly to Wozniacki? And it is going to the forehand. Not as much as I thought she might do, but definitely favouring that side.
She does like to play some of her tennis up the centre of the court as well, doesn't she? I've seen her do that tactically against some players, and then she sort of gets the opponent so that they're sort of having to generate the pace, a little bit awkward coming up and not being able to find the angles themselves, and then she steps in and thumps it into the corners. So she's a mix, actually.
Serving for the set at 5-4. She'd probably prefer to break to win the set, though, I think. You have to so admire the determination, the effort that both of these are putting in here.
I agree. This is a really physically demanding first set. 59 minutes on the clock already, and every single point making each other suffer out here.
Three more break points. Wozniacki 3 from 8. Converted.
I wasn't even sure if one of those was going in from Wozniacki, and she still took it out of the air on a drive volley. He must go through agony every time she plays.
Yes. many do you have to hit to get it by Wozniacki?
Well, again, it's just such great defensive skills, isn't it? One more ball back in, great speed across that baseline. And like you say, what an effort trying to get the ball away from Wozniacki. Still got a chance to break here, though.
Too good. Love 40 to juice.
Well, he's appreciating it. Knows how physical this battle must feel out here.
It's over the hour mark, this opening set. Well, for an hour and 2 minutes, Bartoli has forged a set point. Well, she only won 18 out of 40 points on serve, Bartoli, but somehow, through grit and determination, she's wrestled the opening set. 6 games to 4 in an hour and 3 minutes.
Well, that was an absolutely absorbing first set, I have to say. I mean, just incredible tennis. What a different tempo this match was from the second match of the day between Petrova and Rani, which was much slower and long drawn out, more sort of like clay court tennis, whereas this was absolute thumping ground strokes side to side, really hammering each other from the back of the court. Wow, physical first set that. Saw Wozniacki up at the net a couple of times. Looked particularly confident up there, but getting the job done. Bartoli continuing with her tactics of just going pretty much more to that forehand side than any other time, waiting for the right ball to strike out, really attacking and aggressive off that return of serve. Snuck the first set.
Makes you feel tired watching it. You haven't hit a ball, Annabelle.
I mean,
extraordinary.
Really
the amount
was.
of ground they must have covered.
Yeah, I agree. And just recovery in between the points. You know, she did a lot of chasing down that baseline, didn't she? And as I said before, you know, maybe I'd be interested to know what it was, but it didn't feel like she was as close to the baseline as she'd like to have played that first set.
Yeah, no, with you. I mean, when you think that Wozniacki beat the qualified Jung Jae, Chinese number 3, love and 1 on the court 1 yesterday, that took just 54 minutes for the whole match.
And now she knows she's got to go the distance.
Wozniacki to get the second set underway. One thing's for sure, you know exactly what's going to happen in this set. They'll just be straight back at it again. There'll be no real lull. No one's going to drift away and get stroppy. And they're just great competitors, irrespective of what's gone before. On every point.
Bartoli was waiting for the call, wasn't she? She thought one of those balls was out.
It actually shows how quick she is, Annabelle, because she stood stock still and still made the get.
Yeah, she's deceptively quick, actually. That was a very, very good attempt at a passing shot. Maybe set off a fraction late to go for that one.
Wozniacki's just got to look to try to find more angle somehow, take a bit more pace off and look for the wider ball.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think, trying to get her out of position and pull her out wide, she wouldn't like that. But of course, it's easier said than done, isn't it? When you're a lot of the time chasing to get back into a point, it's quite difficult to suddenly find angles. You need to be more up on that baseline and looking for them. But interesting to see what she does do if she does change things up in this second set. You've got to think that the angles have got to be more effective against Barty than just straight back and forward, up and down the lines. She does tend to hit fairly straight.
Love game. That just tells you everything you need to know about Wozniacki. If you think you got me, think again. 1-love second set.
Well, here's the stats from that first set then. Fairly low first serve percentage from both of them, 50 and 57% from Wozniacki. Winner though, 19 for Bartoli, 11 for Wozniacki. And the unforced errors fairly evenly matched in that department, 14 and 12. Break points, Wozniacki achieving more breakpoint opportunities, converting on 3 of them. Bartoli 9, converted on 4. Well, it was a really tight first set. I think the other thing about the way Wozniacki hits the ball is that some players, just the way that they hit it and the natural pace and power they have on the ball, they have this ability to really create width after that ball has hit the ground and taken off, whereas Wozniacki's hits and is a little bit more straight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's true. Both won 41 points in that opening set.
I always used to watch Clijsters play, and when she hit the ball, because she came so far around the outside of the ball and hit it right through the centre, had unbelievable timing. But once it hit the court, it just travelled off through the court, and you were always pulled.
A little late the call. Does that provoke a challenge? Yes, it does.
I think that's out.
With you. Just when you think you got to the top of the mountain for Bartoli, you look up and there's quite a few ridges ahead of you. After 69 minutes, this remains grueling.
She needs to be aware here. Regroup.
So 3 break points. First 7 points this set to Wozniacki. Held to win the first set from love 40, Bartoli. She'd love to hold again, just to further frustrate the Dane.
seconds.
Well, she conceded one of the breaks first set with a double fault. It was 8 out of 9 points at the start of the second for Wozniacki.
That's the first time she's looked like her shoulders have slumped a little bit, and clearly feeling in her legs as well.
So WTAtennis.com. There's so much to enjoy on the site. Information on the players, tournaments, match results, video highlights. It's all there. And it's all slipping away at the moment from Bartoli.
Yeah, she just lost her intensity a little bit, hasn't she? We've seen very little of this during the course of that first set. It's kept up such a high level. It's just drifting a little bit here.
And of course, as soon as Serena Williams pulled out against Bartoli last night, the top two in the world out, Azarenka before her, boy did it open up the opportunity for the quarter-finalists. We expected the quarters to be keen, tough, and what an opportunity for one of them.
Yeah, because of course Wozniacki was asked in the press conference, because everyone was assuming she would probably play Serena Williams, so in her mind she was probably building up to it. And a different opponent on the other end of the net. Yep.
Just about hung on to that, didn't she? This winner means it's 11 out of 12 points now at the start of this second set for Wozniacki. Amazing little spurt.
Well, again, there's that example of a return of serve that's so deep to the baseline, really difficult to react so quickly. Still recovering from your service motion, and suddenly that ball's at your feet. You've got to get the racket back, try and get the ball out in front of you.
Three-love Wozniacki, second set. Now they're the grounds of the magnificent Aviation Club alongside the newly completed Player Hotel, the official tournament hotel, Jumeirah Side Creek. And if you haven't been, I strongly urge you to come and visit this tournament over the 2 weeks. You'll have the most fantastic time in the most fabulous facilities and hospitality. Here's Dad.
Po drugie, pierwszą piłkę grasz jej od razu na forehand, backhandem, po linii easy. I tym przegrałaś seta, bo ona ci wchodzi i uderza z całej siły na forehand, ty biegniesz i klikasz i ona wchodzi z całej siły na backhand i tak dalej. Masz przechodzić przez backhand. Jak przechodzisz przez backhand, raz, drugi, to wtedy masz miejsce, żeby zagrać jej na forehand, wtedy biegnie. A nie, że ty grasz metr, 2 metry i wszystkie piłki idą do środka, ona jest duża i ci wchodzi z całej siły, Karol. I serwujesz wtedy, nie?
Takes every available second, Wozniacki's father. If he could stay out there, I think he probably would. At the back of the court there.
He's still talking, Joe. He's obviously got a lot of information to impart.
Look at the distance run, Annabelle. 1,500 metres. I mean, we've got another set and a half to go yet.
It's a lot, isn't it? And it's that sort of accumulation of short, sharp sprints back and forward, not much time in between to recover and on with the next one. I'm doing sprint training for an hour and a half.
Remember the old Superstars programme in Great Britain?
Oh, I took part in it.
Did you? Yeah. Well, I worked with Anne Hobbs, who took part in it, and it's just been relaunched, isn't it, last year? But when top tennis players used to go in for it, they nearly always won it.
Did they?
Yeah.
Borg did it, didn't he? Or did he win it?
Won it by a
Oh,
landslide.
did he? Yeah, he was very fit. Very versatile as an athlete.
I think it's the overall strength, the abdom strength that you have to have, because it affects every single shot, the strength from your legs, your arms, especially the right arm of Wozniacki holding up all those beautiful diamonds in the bracelet.
Well, I think all-round skills, isn't it? Athletic ability and then hand-eye coordination. It's amazing. Striking from the back of the court, and the way she plants that front foot, she gets her feet right in the perfect position here. If you have a look, early preparation, very minimal take back, ruthless hitting.
Well, there's the width. It's that cross court to Bartoli's backhand. It's always been the one that unsettles it.
And that was more angle right there, where she's having to move diagonally up the court as opposed to side, which she's so good at. I wonder whether that's what Dad came on to say.
Or break points. Serve was mighty close. Wozniacki looks at Dad, looks back at the line and the umpire.
She's actually saying challenge, isn't she?
This is for our benefit, because no challenge, it was in. Third time in the match, Bartoli concedes serve on a double fault. And it's now 16 points to 4, second set.
Well, this set seems to be going by very quickly in contrast to the first. And I just wonder whether Bartoli's lost a little bit of energy in her legs, actually. I mean, she did so much running. It was such an intense first set. And just that little fraction, if she's a tiny bit later and not as balanced on the ball, she can't get quite as much on it. Wozniacki continuing just to do what she does so well. I've seen her play so many matches over the years, and she's just so good at absorbing everything that's going on and just remaining passive and very calm, composed, but still applying her sort of brand of tennis out there. Being bombarded with shots from the back of the court then. It was almost abusive, wasn't it?
She just reads it so well all the time, doesn't she, too?
Oh, that hurt watching that point. Well played.
Just comes straight back at you, doesn't she? Good serve, follows it up with clean winner.
There's been very few serves, though, Chris, when we've watched this match, that she has actually made Bartoli be stretched or out of position when she's playing a return of serve. I can't think of too many.
Yes, true.
She always appears to have time on the ball.
Especially off the second serve. 9 from 22, one. Just missed. Although Bartoli is under 50% on both first and second. 10 of 22 behind the first, 11 of 29 behind the second.
Oh, de-accelerated into that one.
Fourth double, but Bartoli served 8, 4 in each set so far for the French woman. Bartoli not challenging as Duraki, so first serve again. Super. Now, Wozniacki was so positive about the fact the serve was in, but Hawkeye shows it was clearly long. Amazing. Great point.
Slightly snatched at that return of serve.
Well, the first set took over an hour. Just over half an hour. Wozniacki is a game away from levelling the match. It's 5-love, second set.
Well, amazing resilience from Wozniacki, and just as you said, just continuing to apply what she does best. And I definitely think Bartoli feeling it a little bit out there early on in this second set. Just lost a little bit of something, didn't she? A couple of unforced errors, intensity dropped off just a fraction, and that's enough for the opponent to seize upon it. And there again, the court positioning, pretty much the whole of this match, she has been well up on that baseline. She just loves to take the ball early. It's been so well documented, hasn't it, as a young child growing up. Her dad didn't make her, forced her to play up on that baseline with a wall behind her so that she couldn't
Very
possibly...
different training methods.
Yeah.
It's put a great career together, though.
Yeah, she couldn't possibly play from too far behind the baseline. That's why she takes the ball so early. Takes time away from her opponents. And amazing with double hands on both swings to be limited in your reach, but it hasn't affected her really. She's had a terrific career.
Yes, you can definitely say about Bartoli when she decides to stop playing competitively, she will have maxed. So after an hour and 26 minutes, Bartoli serving to stay in the second set at love 5.
Again, that's just a fraction late, isn't it? Not getting those legs working, the footwork really light. 3 points from handing this set across.
Yeah, and really still struggling with the serve. It's deteriorating, as the scoreboard would suggest.
Not reacting to that one quickly enough. Being rushed out here.
2 points away from a bagel. There's only been one love set in all their previous meetings. Wozniacki winning the second 6-love in the win in New Haven, 2008, on a hard court.
That's amazing.
Be the first ace of the match if it is in.
Right on the junction.
14-18. Wozniacki has 2 seconds remaining.
Keeping a beady eye on Caroline's father. I think she had a little word with Azdaraki then, as if to say, keep your eye on him, because I think he's coaching. And Azdaraki, I think she said, I am looking.
The plot thickens.
Yes. Father, I'm looking out the commentary box. Father's shaking his head, looking at Bartoli as if to say, no, I'm not. He's shaking his head still. Look, and he's looking at Bartoli. There's a little match going on the side here.
There is. Mini battle. Intriguing.
Waiting for the balls. Caught the line, did it?
Well, I thought that might have been out, but Wozniacki having a long, hard look at it. There must be a mark down there. I'm sure she would have challenged if it was. Must have hit the line. Oh, only just.
Interesting as well, of course, Bartoli has done away with the services of father for a while, she says. Wozniacki not.
Letter service.
And of course, on the respective tours, women are far more likely to have parents along to look after them, whereas guys, not many guys have had mother or father coaching and travelling around with them. So set point now for Wozniacki. He has to be coaching. He's got to be very careful at the moment. Everyone's watching him. That's why the coach on court was allowed, because they couldn't really police the off-court coaching. Set all. 41 points each first set. Double for Wozniacki in the second to that of Bartoli's. An hour and 34 minutes. We go the distance.
Well, she's having another chat with Eva Azdaraki. I don't know whether she's asked for her father back on court. Doesn't look like it, or does it? I'm not sure. But a very different set of tennis in that second set. Far less intensity about the way that Bartoli was able to go about her business out there. Wozniacki continuing to be very solid off both wings, gave away nothing, but really sort of outmanoeuvring her opponent more times than we saw in that first set. And also, as I said, I think Bartoli just lost a little bit of time on the ball. A little bit late up to things, lunging at a few balls as opposed to being balanced when she was behind the ball, and she really does need to be with her weight into the ball like that shot right there. Wozniacki very calm and composed, never gets flustered by the scoreline in the tennis match.
And Hawkeye tells us that that shot building that we looked at in terms of the direction of Bartoli's strokes, it was sort of 40-odd% to the Wozniacki forehand. Well, it barely changed in that second set. So just the fact, I think she came back so strong right at the start of the second set, Wozniacki, and maybe Bartoli just felt a little jaded.
Well, her level never dropped, did it, for 1 second, whereas it did drop on Bartoli's side of the net. So she needs to regroup, get a second wind, and get some energy back into those legs. And there's her fitness coach who's replaced her dad, Walter.
Must help Bartoli that she's not played a match since Monday, with how gruelling this has been in part. Danish flag amongst all the others.
Well, the other thing is you don't get much time for recovery before coming out to have to play a semi-final tomorrow. I mean, it's quite late in the evening as well. By the time they've finished with the press and everything, and of course there's another match to go after this, Kvitova-Radwanska.
Yeah. So final set. Bartoli to begin.
That's a perfect start to the final set.
She won the first 7 points, second set. She'd love to do it again. She means business in the backhand, really dominating.
Really good in the overhead department, isn't she? Gets herself right underneath the ball. It's a footwork set, and you can see they're really up and over the top of that ball. That never ever looks like missing. She was moving to the left, wasn't she, before finishing that stroke on that return of serve. Wozniacki pulled off it.
Yeah, it just shows you how much the match has speeded up. Well done, Marion Bartoli. Gets her nose in front at the start of this final set.
Well, that was just relentless hitting from her, wasn't it? Just pulling Wozniacki side to side, more reminiscent of that first serve. But let's take a look at the stats from the second set then. Look, that first serve percentage dropped well down, 35%. It was around the 50% mark in the first set. And the unforced error count well up, 13-3. What a difference that made. And Wozniacki even coming out with more winners, which you wouldn't expect.
Last match they played against each other, remember, was their only three-setter. Indian Wells in the final, 2011. Wozniacki winning it 6-1, 2-6, 6-3.
Oh, she's definitely re-energised, isn't she? Got a sparkle back. Well, that just didn't have enough on it, did it? Not punished that approach shot.
Well, got lucky on the return, apologises for it, but makes hay.
Well, it just crept over the net, that return of serve. Didn't have a clean strike on it, but made things very difficult, because even where it bounced, it then kicked off to the right and pulled Wozniacki well out of position. That was a little bit unlucky for Wozniacki.
6 out of 7 points now at the start of this set for Bartoli. Didn't miss by much, did it? That too. Virtually clung on top of the net. Yeah.
Oh, well played. Well, she's been passed a couple of times in the last 5 minutes, but it hasn't stopped her going up to the net.
She's won a couple of doubles titles, Wozniacki. Handy volley.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? Kept the racket face open as she punched that one through instead of flattening out the face as she's done a couple of times. It just enabled that ball to travel and get away from the opponent.
It's all happening now. They're having a lot of fun, the crowd here.
Well, they've been really entertained, haven't they? This has been terrific tennis and really intense, high-level tennis throughout the course of this match. Fun points to watch. Wozniacki again pulled out of position. Not able to do enough with this one. Very good return of serve. But once again, ball straight into that strike zone, wasn't it? Plenty of time to do what she wants with it.
Chance to get the initiative, final set for Bartoli. She's 4 from 10 on the break points. And takes it. That second serve, well, hammered. 114 Ks. There's so much spin on it too. It just sat up invitingly for Bartoli.
It really did, didn't it? And again, it's just sort of straight into the hit zone. It's almost like a feed from a basket. Yeah, she really got punished on that one. thing is, it's one of those things. She says how much she's practicing that serve and trying to get so much more on it, which, you know, it has improved a little bit. But of course, in the most intense pressure moments, that's when it'll revert back to an old serve. A little bit more on that one from Bartoli. Got more ability to flatten out the serve and get the ball to travel. More fist pumps.
Well, it hasn't been a double fault for a while. Can come in twos sometimes for Bartoli. Having built some momentum, she doesn't want to hand it straight back.
Came off that ball, didn't she? Didn't hold the ball on the strings for a long time.
Happens a lot, doesn't it? After a double fault, then a missed first serve, it unsettles you, so then suddenly there's a groundie that goes quite long. And she's been so solid at the start of this third. It's break-back points for Wozniacki.
But you could see what Wozniacki was trying to do with that shot. It was the right shot to try and play, trying to dip the ball at Bartoli's feet. Just didn't quite get enough over the net here. You can see she knows she's coming in. Just flicks it.
Still broke point. It's 5 from 16 now. Wozniacki's converted. Great body serve.
Yeah, that was a good change up, wasn't it? Great thinker on court. More fist pumps.
Well, it was 10 double faults against Zakopalova. She's up to that mark now. Been plenty of them.
Well, she'll be frustrated with herself on that one. Because that was sort of straight into that hit zone on the backhand side. Didn't have to move her feet for it. Be very frustrated she missed that.
Kvitova, Radwanska, they follow. How much longer are they going to have to wait? Just looking out the commentary box here off that miss hit. Wozniacki looked to the father, so did Bartoli. Bartoli's then got a look from the father. Classic.
There's a subplot going on here. We haven't seen that shot, the forehand down the line, very much in this match at all, actually.
She does hit it better, though, doesn't she, in terms of length to the cross-court one, generally. Sort of hits flatter.
Yeah, flatter
through the strike.
Yeah, the trajectory over the net's much flatter, isn't it?
Whereas cross-court, I suppose, it's sort of it's encouraging you to hit round the ball more.
Up the back of the ball.
Well played.
Well, look at the length she gets on these ground strokes. No way she's missing that one.
I often see that, getting the missed serve ball back.
Leibniz, seconds.
Pivotal game this is developing into. Only a fistful of break points in this game. We've seen plenty of fists from Bartoli. Wozniacki breaks straight back. We're back on serve. Nearly 2 hours. It's 1-2 final set.
2 games to 1.
Another grueling, long game. Look at that, over 10 minutes. Is Dad on for another pep talk?
Czy ty zrobisz błąd, czy nie. Tylko jak chcesz wygrać ten mecz, to odsuń się od linii serwowej, dlatego że ty nie wchodzisz w piłki. Ty czekasz, jesteś blisko, ale ty czekasz. Ty nie returnujesz, Karol. Ty wrzucasz te piłki, czasami ci wyjdzie, czasami nie. Odsuń się, trzymaj forehand, żeby ona widziała i graj ten return na luzie, ale musisz na niego wchodzić. Na luzie, czujesz, gdzie on idzie, jak grasz w półkąt. To druga rzecz. Nie ma takich serwów. Jest pierwszy serw, który ci powiedziałem, wprowadzasz rotację i jest drugi zdecydowany kick, Karol. Albo jak chcesz na forehand, to jest to, co ci mówiłem, idzie za piłką. Nie wrzucaj tego, bo ona i tak za każdym razem mocno gra. I druga rzecz, nie możesz grać crossów backhandowych krótkich od razu. Graj zdecydowanie i ona z tyłu, wtedy dopiero może zacząć. To od razu grasz krótki krok. Ona wchodzi i od razu ci gra z całej siły. Rozumiesz, Juniek? I trzymaj tą nową linię. Jak weszłaś, to musisz wejść, dobra? I dokańczaj forehand.
Well, that's cleared that up. An hour and 57 minutes. Wozniacki back on serve, final set. It's 1-2.
That's the first time I've seen her really get Bartoli a bit further behind that baseline. She's played so much of this match in the reverse roles, but that's the first time I've really seen Wozniacki pushing it. Look how far back she is here. Don't see her sort of on the chase too much.
She listened to, just couldn't quite make it. It's 2-2 after 2 hours. Final set.
Very difficult to predict who's going to come through this.
It really is. But if you need to know, facebook.com/WTA. And all about the world of professional women's tennis. Exclusive player photos, tournament results, straight into your newsfeed. Momentum shift, Annabelle.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. Exactly what I was thinking. It just feels like it's swung a bit. There's a sea change come over this match. She's a great absorber of sort of crisis, isn't she, Wozniacki?
She's a sponge.
She is. Well, again, some of these shots that she produces just definitely are not in the textbook, but they work.
Well, we've seen so many good overheads from Bartoli, Annabelle, but she chose the round arm drive volley here.
But she's off balance, isn't she? Going backwards as she hits it, but still comes up with the angle. So clever.
Yeah.
Well, another very good angle from Bartoli. Well, Wozniacki not happy. I think she thinks one of the calls was out.
Well, it's there for the players to challenge.
Yes, she's right. No wonder she was cross.
Clean the line.
Well, I think she's appealing to Wozniacki to have been able to have seen that last ball on the previous one and actually be able to overrule it. Pretty big point as well.
It was. On the back of that momentum she was building. Think how many shots they've hit. I mean, it's hundreds. Not surprising, every now and then they lose a bit of focus. But it's sort of, when you see the sort of big error, it hits you like a sore thumb, doesn't it? That's how intense and consistent they've been overall.
Yeah.
There's that aggression on the backhand. It's the star of her show.
It's her head very still, doesn't she? Feeling quite compact when she hits that backhand.
That's 12 doubles now. Another break point. Wozniacki. She's 6 from 19.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Good serve too, wasn't it, to the forehand? Doing the short response.
So straight the way she hits it as well. You just have to look at the intensity in her face when she shapes up for some of these ground strokes.
Again, looking to go to the forehand of Wozniacki, getting rewarded. First unforced error of the set, would you believe, on the previous point. That's one of the best forehands she's hit in the match.
Well, she's adjusted well from that error into the forehand side and into the net. Gives it more height over there. Makes no mistake about that one. Well, Wozniacki looks to me as if she could run all night.
Yeah, and all the next day too. The one. Getting the use of that left hand. Maybe forced because it was so deep from Bartoli and she was leaning back a little, but that is a stunning stroke, particularly against Bartoli.
Yeah, she does so well here because she's a little bit on the defensive to start this rally, and then, as you say, using that left hand to kind of drag the ball away, but just gets a little bit more angle on it.
Wow. Mounting up if she doesn't start converting them again. Three games in a row for Wozniacki. That's put even more of a spring in her step if it's possible. 2 hours and 8 minutes. Battle continues. Now, there's always a breaking point for most players somewhere in a match. It's tough to find one against Bartoli, but that's surely got to hurt Annabelle. 2-love. A big game, the third game. And she had the break point, love 30, break point. Big.
Yeah, that was a huge game, wasn't it? And it said so much about Wozniacki, the fact that she just wasn't giving in, so resilient out there and just kept coming back at her, and eventually found a breakthrough to get through that game and got herself back involved in this final set. But that's Wozniacki for you, you know, that's what took her to world #1, and she retained it for 2 years running, didn't she? Which was amazing. And I admire the way she's been able to pick herself up despite, you know, not having a great year last year. And she ended it on quite a high, didn't she, winning in Sofia. And, yeah, she's really come out, I think, playing very good tennis again. And not getting too down on herself.
So, Wozniacki. 3-2 final set.
Oh, that was rushed, wasn't it? Trying to go for the winner too quickly. She normally gets the balance pretty spot on, but that was a little bit panicked, that one.
Left hand again. It's so clear when she uses it, Wozniacki, isn't it?
Yeah, she sort of drags the ball across court, doesn't she? Using that left hand. Really leans into the shot. But even those forehands, you know, the second forehand of that last rally, you know, she has a mid-court ball which somebody like a Gerges would put away that ball or really get that ball to go through, and she just can't do that. That kind of shot where, even there, Bartoli sort of getting a racket to that ball. It's been a real jigsaw puzzle, hasn't it?
Yes. Difficult one too. Scoreboard's irrelevant for Bartoli. He just wants to fight on each point. Wozniacki too. But 4-2 it is. For the champion of 2011.
I so clearly remember that year when she won here, Chris, because she was playing so aggressively, wasn't she? I mean, her ground strokes were phenomenal from the back of the court, but she was also really aggressive, flattening out the ball. We saw her coming up to the net a lot more, finishing points off. I mean, she was on as confident a high as she could possibly have been that year.
Yeah. She handled all the stick about being number one. We hadn't won a major and just the one major final. And she said, look, I'm trying as hard as I can. I'm supporting the WTA better than anybody. 6 titles in both the years that she ended the year at number one.
Now, I was surprised when I was looking at her stats that she has only 6 wins against top 5 opponents. That's quite surprising, isn't it, for someone who was number one for 2 years running?
Yeah, it is. And the last top 5 win that she had was when she beat Schiavone in the semi-final of Brussels, 2011. Before that, it was the semi-final of the Championships, 2010, when she beats Zvonareva.
I think there was always that feeling, even when she was at number one, because she played so consistently in so many tournaments, she'd amassed these points on the computers. But, you know, there were a lot of players out there on the tour ranked lower than her who she was finding it hard to beat.
Double fault number 13 now. At least one a game. Strap is still twisted, isn't it, on the right shoulder of the outfit?
Yeah, I've wanted to untwist that for about an hour.
Made it.
Wasn't that the same shot she hit to take the first set? It was unbelievable, that shot. I feel like I haven't seen that for a while.
It's a Robin Hood special, isn't it? Straight as. Serve and volley?
Where did that come from?
See the dodo next.
Well, if you're going to do it, I guess at 40-15 it's the right time to do it.
Oh dear.
Oh, that would have felt horrible. Didn't get hold of that ball at all, did she? And it sort of wobbled on the racket face as it hit.
We had a wonderful chat with Paul McNamee this morning, didn't we? Barry Flatman from the Sunday Times. And he talked about Mr. Hopman, the legendary late great coach. And Hopman always said, drop shot quite often is a sign of fatigue.
Yeah, you want the point to end. Yeah, that one was like a brick. Was that a warning?
It was. Time violation. Now then, boy, that changes things. 40-15, the serve and volley attempt for the first time in the match. Suddenly it's a chance for a double break for Wozniacki. Another. Well, would you believe it? 4 points in a row. Wozniacki is a game away from her third semi-final here in Dubai.
Wozniacki leads 5-2.
I think she's definitely fatigued. I think that's quite a bit of what's happened in this final set. She's just lost a little bit of something. She lost it after that first set, actually, didn't she? And, you know, I think because she needs to be so behind the ball, so balanced, and the minute she's slightly a fraction off, you know, she can't have quite the same zing that comes through the court, and it's just given Wozniacki a little bit more of a lift. It's taken its time, though, hasn't it? 2 hours and 19 minutes to really break her down. It's been quite a puzzle.
It's been a real seesaw. But it's amazing. I mean, it's so easy now to say it, but you look back, the serve and volley at 40-15 from Bartoli came out of the blue, then the drop shot. And against someone like Wozniacki, who's so watertight, well, it's cost her dear. So Caroline Wozniacki, after 2 hours and 19 minutes, serving for a place in the semi-finals. It'll be her third if she can provide the finishing touches here at 5-2 final set. On the line, well, you could expect some pretty strong French resistance.
Locked in.
You have to admire her. You have to respect her. You have no choice. She demands it.
30.
Never say never. Never, never, never.
Love 40.
3 lifeline points for Marion Bartoli. Look at the eyes. How good was that? It's 5-3 final set. Bartoli's going nowhere, apart from very firmly back in this quarter-final.
Code violation. Coaching warning Wozniacki.
Well, Bartoli said keep your eye, as Zraki has, and has now given Wozniacki a code violation for coaching. Piotr's got arms outstretched as to say, not me. But his daughter hasn't complained to Azdaraki at all. The plot thickens further. Bartoli 3-5 final set.
Lovely thing.
It's just too many. So often it's interrupted the flow. For Barty, 14 now. No wonder it drives her nuts. And again, straight after the double, look at that miss. It's a big miss. It unsettles everything about her. Such a shame. She's battled so hard. And continues to.
$15 seconds.
Now he was looking, well, he's bent even further forwards than that with head down, just looking at the ground, shaking his head. This is getting tighter and tighter by the second. Just when you thought it was all over for Bartoli, she proves you wrong. She's done it so many times. And look at Wozniacki's father. He is playing every single shot with his daughter. It's 5-4 now. This great battle continues. And the crowd are absolutely delighted.
Wozniacki leads 5 games to 4.
I know I'm repeating myself, but boy, do you have to admire this woman. 28 years old. Never seen her give anything other than 100% on every shot, in every point, in every match. She was prepared to be loud and say, you keep your eye on Mr. Wozniacki. He's coaching my opponent. Did it right at the same end as where the father was sitting. So she's taken both on admirably here, without her own father present. And look at that, just keeps every now and then having a little beady look. But fierce determination behind those eyes. This is just, I said it to her after she won her first round match against Zakopalova. She gives a lesson every time on how to fight. Prolonged ovation, particularly for Bartoli. Wozniacki serving for the match again. 5-4 final set. Tails up. Looks at the father. Clenches the fist. This is brilliant. That was not easy. Don't think that was going in before it hit the let cord. Out either way. Sometimes they can be brought back in though, hitting the net by such narrow margins. It's a huge come on from Wozniacki. She needed that.
30,
Brilliant serve. That's one of the best of the match. And then the perfect wrong footer. Again, straight into the eyes. I don't think the father was looking, but the fist too. Everyone needs an extra motivation sometimes to win. There's no doubt what the extra motivation is for Bartoli. Match point Wozniacki.
Please. Views.
Cool, calm, and collected.
Advantage, Wozniacki.
Second semi-final point. Wozniacki wins a great battle. Hawkeye will confirm it.
The ball was called in.
It's on the back of the line. The resistance is finally broken. Not sure how many favours Wozniacki's father's done her tonight. Bartoli's done everyone a favour by producing a fantastic effort to try to beat the former world #1. But it is Wozniacki who's through to her third semi-final here. The champion 2 years ago still remains very, very tough to beat. And Bartoli could not have given any more. Of course, last week in Doha, Piotr was shouting out from the stands about a call, and he was told to shush by officials. It'll be a talking point, no doubt, given the warning for coaching by Azdaraki and Bartoli. Well done. 8th visit. Let's hope there's quite a few left in the legs of the French #1. Two hours and 32 minutes of fabulous entertainment. And Caroline Wozniacki, if she's got the breath left, will be talking to Annabelle Croft.
Well, many, many congratulations, Caroline. That was an incredible tennis match. Quite a puzzle for you to solve, but how did you solve it?
It was a very difficult match. You know, Marion played very well, and you know, I was down in the third set, and I really had to fight back. But you know, I just kept fighting and tried to take the chances that I had.
And what do you think was the key to the match tonight?
Just you know, I tried to step up in my serve and step into her returns and try to get her moving, basically.
And how difficult is it to play someone who's so unconventional on a tennis court? I mean, she's very unusual with her double hands on both sides. How difficult is it to play her?
It is very difficult. You know, she goes in, plays very aggressively. She's, you know, a player that never gives up. So, you know, I've played her many times before, but every time it's very difficult.
And how special was it to play in front of Diego Maradona, who, of course, you met here last night?
Very special. You know, I'm a huge football fan, so to play in front of Maradona was unbelievable. And, you know, I won the match. And actually, we promised to exchange a few things. I get one of his jerseys, and he'll get one of my rackets. So that's why I would like him on the court.
Well, we'll get him out here in just a moment. Now, you're through to the semi-finals. Lastly, you play the winner of the next match, either Kvitova or Radvanska. Are you going to stay and watch it?
Right now, I think I just need a quick massage, some good food, and just enjoy that I won.
Well, we'll let you go and exchange gifts with Diego Maradona. Well done again tonight, Caroline Wozniacki.
Yes, and of course, a father, a pro footballer, as is the brother, Patrick. Here he comes. As David Mercer said the other day, I suppose we have to forgive him the hand of God. But what a moment for the pair of them. Mutual respect and admiration, I'm sure. Such a sports fanatic, Maradona. And a legend in his own right. One of the greatest footballers of all time.
For Caroline Wozniacki, for the light of your face and the beauty, keep lighting our lives in the tennis life.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very
This is
sweet.
my racket. Special is all here. Do you want me to sign?
Please.
He's going to get a signed racket in exchange. Salatalik, tournament director, alongside Magdi, head of security in the Royal Box. What a great job he does. They all do here. It's a wonderful, wonderful team. Signed it on the handle and the frame. The number 10 shirt. Many greats have worn that number. He's right up there with them. Super pictures and mementos for all of them. It's a bit of a come down now, isn't it? After that, an exciting quarter-final. We thought when Azarenka and Williams pulled out that the quarter-finals would become competitive, long and tough matches. Such an opportunity for all of the 8. And so it's turning out to be. Sit back. Enjoy the highlights, of which there were many. Winning feeling, father first out of the chair.